Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Disco Elysium with me, Bring It On.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Let's take care of this perception check real fast. Search the body one more time, thoroughly.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh. First with your fingertips, it's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Put your fingers in his mouth. Yeah, when we looked in his mouth, I think that's when we got the feeling there was something in the darkness.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Say, abrasion collar.
Abrasion collar.
Lieutenant looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper. There we go. Touch it with your finger, gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Brainstem.
Yes, that's what this part is called. You've seen the drawings. You've studied them.
Alright, feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Alright, I'll wriggle in. I'm not going to punch a hole in it through his mouth.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
He searches his pockets for something. Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
The lieutenant leans closer. Alright, let's fish it out.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Whisper, I got it.
Good.
The fridge in the background buzzes with excitement. Now slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Can I have it?
Of course. You deserve it.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate. Back of mouth.
He turns to his notebook.
High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
He underlines the injury, forcefully. Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Yeah, gosh darn right.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Click, click goes the pen.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Treatment.
Treatment, officer, is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause. In this case, this injury here.
He points to the mark encircling the corpse's neck. The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone. It was all a treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Yeah, agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
I'm so glad I passed that perception check. This sounds like a big deal, but it makes sense too. So whoever shot him, again, I think the woman shot him. The lady driver that we're looking for, that the Hardy Boys are associated with, and they're covering for her. So I think she shot him after he sexually assaulted her. That's my running theory right now. Yeah, who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
Yeah, I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
He looks you in the eye. Alright, tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius, a regular Copperlangelo.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries, not secrets.
Oh yes, Kobo Milobo, in the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
He's probably talking about the bullet I just dug out. Yeah, but to where, brother?
Just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo. A small gulp away.
This probably would have helped with the, check.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have helped with the perception check in the beginning, or if it would have helped when I tried to dig the bullet out of his head. Alright, I'm not going to take the boots. Let's bag him, Kim. Take him away. Lieutenant takes the body away. You work alone for the rest of the day.
Alright.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
That's fine.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. That feels good. I'm glad we found that. Harry, I'm thinking about wasting skill points on like checks that aren't relevant to the case, like the conceptualization checks. So I think we're sitting on what, 3 skill points as of right now. We have this we can interact with and wash off the death smell. I wonder if I can do that first. I should probably do that before I interact with anybody. I'm assuming that's going to hurt some of my checks, so. Probably should have waited to bag and tag him till later in the day. It's fine. Some of the checks I plan on doing don't require to have Kim around anyway. Like talking to the girl outside the bookstore, and then the conceptualization checks. Yeah, we're fine. The one I can't do until nighttime. Because I get like a +2 bonus to it on that wall. Yeah, first things first, let's bathe.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you.
Alright, run yourself a bath.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Undress, close your eyes, and submerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
Yeah, take the beer cans out.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. They're not even really thoughts, just assorted sensations. None of them acute enough to focus on.
Yeah, linger in the tub a little.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. What are you doing? You're not some fat fish in a fucking aquarium. Time to get moving.
Imagine something.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, Houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Alright, get out.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Yeah, but we're not as stinky, and that's all that matters.
The door is closed. Still
want to know how I get up to the roof here. Alright, so we have a couple things we can do. We can go take care of that door. Which might be a good idea to do that without Kim anyway. Open up that door. To the Weasel's place. Because it's not very RCM-like conduct. And Kim seems pretty stand-up. He doesn't need to be involved in that. Do that by myself. I can go talk to Joyce again and this girl. I forgot what her check is, though. Oh, no. I'm going to do this check. But Kim had something to say about this check here. I want to see what... I think it was a volition check.
an old call box with a matrix
Yeah, we'll hold
of
off on that
push
for now.
buttons.
Volition, conceptualization. What do we have? I don't know if I want to talk to Joyce without Kim around, because she's relevant to the case.
Whoa. What have we here?
A bridge?
A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to take my chances.
Guess so. Just be careful out there. One false step could cost you dearly.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do instead is go take care of this door. Assuming I'll need the pry bar for.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Oh, I forgot. They gave me a key to the door. I carefully knock.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Use Manana's key to unlock the door.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft. A whistle.
No. I think he said not to go into the building. Or into the door. What's his face? Evrart. Let's not worry about that right now. Are we gonna go turn this into Evrart real fast, and then I can interact with the bullet in the bag that I have. Also want to see what her check is.
Hello again, sir.
Composure. I don't know, we'll see. Let's go turn this in first.
Hola, Wandering Man.
I assume we can always go back in that door after we turn in this quest anyway. Because that'll probably make Evrart happy that we didn't go inside. Otherwise, there's a reason why he would have said that. Unless he was trying to use reverse psychology on me. This was a volition check as well, wasn't it?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. The drawer slides.
So that's 2 volition checks that I'm really interested in doing. So volition and conceptualization are 2. I should invest in.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Open the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He says with a smile. The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
He gives you a clever look.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is going to start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is going to be good.
He pretends to roll up his sleeves. Alright, so I made a mistake. I forgot that deal was that we would talk about the murder. I would prefer to have Kim here. So again, I don't know how important his notebook is going to play into events later. I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramoritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
He nods gravely. I missed that part.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Hold on. You have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
He laughs. Wait, they moved the container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it.
His office was here at night, though. He wasn't in it. They didn't move it.
But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
His face turned serious.
One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
He shakes his head. How did he end up hanging from that tree?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
He raises his finger. Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
You believe they killed the hanged man?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, Socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land. He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
He chuckles. You're not afraid that we're going to arrest them?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He chuckles. There was a bullet in the hanged man's head.
So they shot him?
He sounds pleasantly surprised. Yes, someone shot him in the head before they hanged him.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
The man shrugs.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favorite policeman, Harry.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do.
He slams his fist on the desk.
Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you think the security contractor organized the scabs?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
The fist lands on the desk again. The name of the company is Cornell this time. It might have been Sediment before.
Of course. You're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me.
The remaining mercenaries are organizing a tribunal to take on the Hardys.
Tribunal? That sounds serious, Harry. We Union men should be shitting ourselves. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's change the subject.
He appears aghast. He rubs his chin and smiles suddenly.
He's clearly happy about the tribunal.
You don't seem too worried about it.
Oh, Harry, what do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb to second base with old Evrart before you've even courted him properly.
He wants you to do more things for him before.
You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
He grins broadly. Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
He starts laughing. What more can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Evrart, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
He holds out a banknote. Wait, why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
I don't need it. I only wanted you to help me with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
He pockets the bill. A good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike.
He leans back, suddenly worried.
I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But It's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Great sadness comes over him. Yet.
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
He says, slowly shaking his head.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Yeah, this is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right. I do what my heart tells me to do.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
He picks something from his teeth. What would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
He pulls out an envelope. What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
He grins broadly.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Fine. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. Accept the task.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the water lock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair. Can we give her a few details concerning the murder again?
Most certainly, Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you.
The big man nods merrily.
By all means, Harry. What's on your mind?
Alright, Evrart, I'm gonna leave now, but we might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
The big man raises his hand in farewell. Alright, so we have an envelope and the fractured bullet. A white envelope with a stamp attached to the upper right corner, handed to you by Evrart Claire. Inside are some legal documents with 2 names printed on them. Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Both signatures are required. And the fractured bullet. Now the bullet mushroomed out on impact. It now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone. Alright, I'm gonna go back to that other room with the volition check. So what I think we'll do in the next episode, I might start off by interacting with the envelope and the bullet. And then we'll do the 2 volition checks or more. How many do we have? There's one with Kim, and I'm not sure what that one is. But it's grayed out, so we have to put a point into it for him anyway. The electronic doorbell and... I don't see the other one. The one inside this office over here. Alright, so that's what we'll do. Starting next episode, we'll inspect these 2 items, or interact with these 2 items, and then do this volition check. I guess go do the other volition check without Kim. I don't think he needs to be there for it, even though he did provide some commentary for it when we last spoke to it. That, like, I don't want to say it's disjointed voice, but the weird voice that wasn't like talking to us on the call. It was really cool, and I want to pursue that as well. And then we'll pursue some of the conceptualization checks. The one of them I'm not going to do until nightfall. The wall, because I get a +2 bonus to it at night. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.